So this time we'll try something a little bit more complex. So you can see here we've just got a kind of really low poly model of an American Caravan. So what we're going to do to unwrap this is use the first of all we're going to try using the unfold option here. Now if we just hit that, you'll see that's not going to do a very good job, and that's because the model needs, if we just isolate it, the model needs you to define some cut edges where it can split itself from. So let's just go to the polygons menu, create UVs, planar mapping, and I do find sometimes it's better to just planar map your model first before you do this. So what we're going to do is, from the top, we're going to peel off this side, this side, this side, and this side. So it's going to peel out. So we need to define lines for it to peel out from. So let's select each of these sides just by double clicking on them like so. Then we'll also select we'll try doing this edge around here as well. So if you look now, it's going to peel off from the top along each of these sides. So you'll have this side sticking out, this side sticking out, this side sticking out, and this side sticking out. It's going to peel up to here, and then we'll do this base area as a separate model, as a separate unwrap. I mean, actually, to be fair, what we might be thinking is use this one because this will be made of a different material to this, so it will help our texturing if we do it like that. Ooh, so we can see here we haven't selected the base of the door there, so you do want to go around and make sure you've got everything selected. Then what we'll do is polygons, and you do cut UV edges, and then go to UV, select all of this, and try hitting this. And if it hasn't done a great job, try right clicking on the options, go to Unfold 3D, and try hitting apply. So Unfold 3D is the new kind of unfold option basically, and it can do a better job. So we can see here this is actually looks like it's done this perfectly. So we go to Move UV Shell tool and select this. And we can see that based from the top here what's going on. So this is our area here, this is our back area, this is one side, and this is the other side. So it's done a really good job of this top section. So what about the bottom section here? Well, it actually looks like it's done a very good job of that as well. We can see where these cuts are, and that's where we defined those edges before. If you want to see those edges in your viewport, you can turn on this option here, and that's toggle border edges, and that will display all of these borders of each island, and you can see that's doing a nice job. So let's go to UV, select to UV, hold Control, right click to shell, and we'll just move this up into here. We do seem to have one problem here. What's this here? So seems to have made a small error on there, and also this isn't quite straight. So this might be as simple as just rotating these around. So you'll soon start noticing if there are any problems. See, that's probably my fault really. I probably defined that edge without meaning to. So you could just go back and fix up that edge, or hopefully you guys don't have this problem. So I'm going to select those UVs and go to Polygons, Merge UVs, and that will stick them together. Okay, so that's looking better, but we can still see that's not straight. But remember, if you just select this whole line here, you can use that to make it straight. Alternatively, you could now we've fixed that problem, select the shape again and try using Unfold, or you have to be in UV mode. And you can keep going until hopefully that will improve it, and that already looks better, I think. So we could try rotating this round slightly, but then what we'll do is just clean it up slightly by making these nice and straight. Okay, now there is one other thing with this for texture work. If we have a window here, a door here, and another window here, what we'll want to do is actually just peel these off. So if we go to polygons, cut UV edges again, or I think create UV shell might work. Yeah, so there you go, we can pull those off, because it would be very hard to texture those and not bleed into this other area. So we can give these some texture space. I'm going to rotate the door so it's the right way around, and I might even rotate the window as well. Let's just check that that is definitely the top. Remember, you can check as well, because if it was upside down it would be red, and so on. Okay, so that's not looking too bad. The next thing you want to check though whenever you're doing anything like this is make sure that little bits like this indent is actually displaying right, because sometimes they're not, but you can see there that's actually worked pretty well. There's also the indent on this window, that's fine, and I don't think there is an indent on this side. So the last thing to do is just to use our Move UV Gel tool, and let's just get these kind of roughly where you might want them to go. So I'll keep the windows together, and I'll keep the door maybe down here, and we'll stick this up here. Okay, so that's using the Unfold tool. So what we're going to do next is just save this out. I'll just save this as lecturing example 3, and we'll unisolate this. So you've only got this stuff in the scene. I'll make sure all the other stuff isn't in the scene for the actual tutorial. Then if we just select a step like this, remember that we've already done this before, so we should be able to just either try our Unfold tool, and obviously that's done that like that, but actually how we did this before was just select the edges that we want it to break on. So I suggest we would want a seam down here, and we probably want the seams there actually. So we're just going to do the same thing as we did before. We're going to do this manually. So we're going to select all of those edges there. So we've got one edge for it to peel off horizontally, and then these ones where it can peel around. So polygons, cut UV edges, face mode, UV mode, and select those, and then try hitting that. If that doesn't work, you can try the legacy one, but I think what we really need to do with this first is go create UV planar map, and then we'll do just what we just did again. Unfortunately, we're going to have to select all this again. So notice how I keep the seam on the, doing that wrong, so keep the seam on the non-seam edge on the outer bit there where it's going to be seen. So cut UV edges, go to UV mode, try Unfold, and there we go, it's done a much better job. So yeah, it's important to remember to do that planar map, the model, to stick it all together so there's not any like pre-done cuts. Okay, so we'll do the same on this model. This time we'll just try the Unfold straight away. I'm always forgetting to do UVs because of this new mode. And actually that's done that one perfectly. So we've no need to faff about. And we probably do want to straighten it up though. So we'll straighten up along there. Select these, and this time I'm just going to use G just to repeat the command, so it's nice and quick to do. And then I select this row here and use this one, and again just use G, so to do them all horizontally. So if you're happy with those UVs, what we can do, rather than having to redo them on here, is select this model and then select the next model and go to one of these. And what we're looking for is the transfer attributes tab, which for some reason I've just completely forgotten where it is. So it's none of those. I'm sure it's in mesh. Transfer attributes, there we go. So select the options in there. And you can see here we've got, you can actually take the vertex position of that model. But what we want, though, all these off and UV sets to be all. And then you've got our sample space here, and sometimes this will work and sometimes it won't. So just bear with it. So we'll try hitting apply. And that looks like it's pasted it straight on. But if it doesn't work, try setting this to UV or local or weld and so on, and sometimes one works and sometimes it doesn't. So component worked fine. Now if you are going to use this mode, again make sure, select the model, and what we want to do is apply our checker shader to this, because look, you can see, let's apply it to this one as well. This is a classic example of where it hasn't worked, which is annoying because it does work maybe 60% of the time. Maybe we'll try it on this one here. So mesh, transfer attributes, and we'll try on this model assigning our checker shader, and it hasn't worked there either. So I did want to show you that, but it doesn't seem to have worked. So let's try one other technique for copying UVs then, because this can be really useful. Another way to do it is to select the models you want, combine them together, and go to right click, go to UV, select these ones and do copy UVs, and then on this one paste UVs. Sometimes that works, and obviously here it's not working, so I tried to give you a demo and unfortunately it hasn't. Well, it's kind of worked there but hasn't done it right. So one final way, which a lot of people don't consider actually, is selecting this one and actually just duplicating that. If it's quicker to just take an existing model and move it into place, one that's already unwrapped, you can do that. And I actually do this a reasonable amount, because obviously unwrapping, depending on the shape, can take you quite a long time. So we get that kind of roughly into place. And when you scale, make sure you scale on normal's average so that it follows the current rotation of the model. And that'll do. So that's another way to do that. There we go. And you could do the same on these as well. If it's going to take you longer to unwrap them, just duplicate those two across and scale them down, and then make sure you scale the UVs too. But for these we'll actually unwrap them. So again, UVs. If that doesn't work, try planar map, and then use your unfold. But you'll want to define your edges first. So polygons, cut UV edges, select your UVs and do that. There we go, nice simple unwrap. Get it nicely straightened up, or as straight as you can. Obviously use your tools for straightening stuff out if you can. So again we'll use our, I forgot to planar map it, didn't I? So planar map, then edge, cut UV edges to shell, and unfold that one. So it can be like that with unwrapping, just picking the right way to do something isn't just about getting the result, because a lot of different ways will get you the result you want. It's about picking the way which is also the fastest. So this is just another box on top. Again, exactly the same process that we've already done. So you can see that's done okay, but obviously it would be better if we put the cuts in ourselves, and that's just done it exactly the same way. You can work with this, of course. I mean, if you feel like it, you could select this, select both of those, and do polygons, split UVs, rotate these, find the edge that it's connected to, and then try polygons, move and so UV edges. Just do the same on this one. Remember, you can use this. All these options are up here as well, so you don't have to go into that menu. You do have those there. And there we go. That's that top bit also unwrapped. Again, though, I'm going to make sure that I straighten these off as well. Oh, and remember, you can obviously use G just to quicken up that process a little bit. And we'll just straighten this off as well. And there we go, that's all of our bits now unwrapped. So again, it's just like we did with the previous model. If you want to lay these out, you can either use that same tool we used before, or do it manually. So we'll just do it manually in this case. I'm going to select all the models. I'm going to combine them together, and that is just mesh combined, by the way. I just have it as a shortcut. We'll select and move out some of these models out here. I'm going to use my Move UV Shell tool just to get those out of there. So I'm kind of hoping that what we can do is use this existing kind of scale that we have on this model here. So I'm going to go to select the whole model and assign our checker shader to this. Make it visible. And what we probably need to do is just come back into here and change the size a little bit as well. There we go, that looks pretty good. So what I want to try and do is select all of these kind of things and match up the square width to the square width on there. Probably something like that. So obviously these are quite small objects relative to the Caravan itself. So you can see here we could easily get some more kind of use out of this UV space. So if you just select everything, scale it up, and then get everything to place like this. So you can see, you know, this process can take time. It's not always a quick thing to do. But the longer you spend on it, the more use you'll be making out of your UV space. So there we go. So that's our Caravan kind of nicely unwrapped.